Some of these Old Testament passages can seem a little bit weird. What has Moses singing a song to a people who are about to cross into the Promised Land, a place that they're going to have to conquer, have to do with us, sitting here in the 21st century, wondering whether we should do all of our Christmas shopping at John Lewis or just some of it? One of the things that is a connector is that we worship the same God. So the God that we're about to celebrate at Christmas is the God that Moses is kind of testifying about as the one who is the rock and the one who vindicates himself and the one who does all this stuff. This is the same God. So that's one connector. And the second connector is, in this passage, in the song, so much of it is about relationship. It's about God reaching out to the human race, particularly here the people of Israel, and having a relationship with them. And so it's not about religion and it's not about rules. For all that we've read about the law, ultimately it boils down to relationship. So if we want to know God, we need to understand how he works in relationship. And this gives us some insights into what that looks like. So one is, God is a rock in every relationship. And so it calls him the rock with a capital R here. What that means is he's just really consistent. He's massively consistent. That rocks, if you look at a rock and you come back 20 years later, it probably looks pretty much the same if it's a big one. Well, he's the biggest rock ever. And he never ever changes. And so what that means is, while you and I go up and down in a relationship, and it depends on how we're feeling and whether we're ill and, what's going on in our life, God never does. So every day he's consistent. His mercies are new every morning. His kindness is there every day. His faithfulness is there every day. He gives peace to all who come to him every day. He's the rock. He's consistent. You can lean on him. You can build your life on him. Another thing that it shows him about God is that he's a jealous God. And sometimes we don't like to think about God as jealous, but what it means here is he wants us to be faithful to him. Just as he's faithful to us, he wants us to make him first in our lives. And it refers to other idols and things that the people of Israel began to worship. And we can sometimes think, oh my word, these guys, they were so unsophisticated, worshipping bits of wood and things like that. We'd never do that, would we? And of course we do. We just do it in a different way. So we worship, all the products that we're about to think about buying for various people who don't even need them really. Or we worship money, or we worship success, or we worship ourselves. We worship all these things. God's jealous. He wants to be your number one. And the final thing I'll draw from it is, I love this little line Moses says at the end, "Take heart, all the words I have solemnly declared to you this day, so that you may command your children to obey them carefully in the words of the law. They are not just idle words for you, they are your life." These words about the fact that we have a God who's faithful and who's also jealous, they're not just idle things, they're essential for life and essential for following him.